Stop missing the legal power of Christmas. Are you forfeiting your family's destiny? Christmas is not just sentiment. It's the legal declaration that grants you co-heir authority. Stop praying and start executing the birth mandate to seal your family's eternal covenant now. Here is the strategic secret that unlocks the full power of the Christmas season. The Nativity is not merely a warm historical story. It is the legal signing day of the greatest contract in eternal history, the transfer of supreme governing authority from the king to you, his co-heir. If your celebration stops at emotion, you are actively forfeiting your right to execute the legal decree that secures your family's destiny. This is the unconscious mistake that paralyzes believers every December. They treat the Incarnation as an event to be commemorated, not as a legal transaction to be executed. They focus on the temporary sentiment instead of the eternal mandate. The consequence is severe. They fail to deploy their co-heir authority, topic 2, at its most powerful annual juncture, leaving their families' legal boundaries and generational assignments vulnerable. Christmas is the annual divine reminder that the redemption deed is signed. The King has arrived in human form to grant you the legal standing to rule the 8 spheres of governance, topic 12, on his behalf. In this crucial session, we will unveil the 3 pillars of legal declaration you must execute to convert the historical fact of the Nativity into a sealed eternal covenant over your household. This is the blueprint for moving your family from the realm of hope to the realm of legal guarantee, using the authority of the Christ child to secure your protection, provision, and legacy now. The legal basis, the great deed of redemption. To leverage the Incarnation, you must first comprehend its identity as the great deed of redemption, the foundational legal instrument of the new covenant. The core principle is this: the Incarnation was a necessary legal act to retrieve lost ownership and legitimize human co-governance. Strategic deep dive. The legal mechanics of the birth. The birth of Jesus was meticulously governed by eternal law, not by chance. The legal validation of human form. Adam forfeited human dominion, topic 12. For the dominion to be retrieved and the legal co-heir contract to be established, the king had to enter the legal system as a human. Galatians 4:4-5 is the binding legal argument. But when the set time had fully come, Jesus sent his Son, born of a woman born under the law, to redeem those under the law, that we might receive adoption to sonship. The phrase "born under the law" is the legal seal on the transaction. The king submitted to the law to legally retrieve those bound by it. This is the supreme legal contract confirming your status as an adopted co-heir. The deed as title transfer. The Incarnation officially began the process of title transfer. Jesus, the rightful heir, entered the property earth in human form to legally challenge the trespasser, Satan, and execute the deed of redemption. The manger is the legal starting point where the new rule of the king was declared over the territorial space of the family and the earth. This act provides the legal grounds, jurisdiction, for you to challenge the enemy's hold on your family line. Eternal mandate of the birth. The Nativity is not just about a baby, it is about the sovereign mandate of the Messiah. This event gives you the eternal authority to invoke the power of his kingship over every area of your family's life. When you declare the power of the Incarnation, you are not merely praying, you are executing the mandate signed on that first Christmas day. This is the foundation of power that validates all your subsequent declarations for your loved ones. You are leveraging the most powerful legal document in existence. The great deed of redemption confirms that the Christmas event is your annual, binding opportunity to utilize the highest legal authority in the universe to secure the protection and provision of your household. Pillar 1. The legal declaration of identity. The first pillar you must execute using the authority of the Incarnation is the legal declaration of identity. The core principle is the birth of Jesus annulled the covenant of servitude and established your family's permanent co-heir status. Strategic deep dive, sealing the family line. The identity of the Christ child directly confirms the identity of the adopted child. Annulment of the slave covenant. Before the Incarnation, humanity was legally bound by sin, resulting in a slave identity. Topic 15. Jesus' birth, under the law, paid the legal ransom for all future generations. Therefore, you must use this event to annul every inherited lie or false prophetic word that attempts to define your family members as failures, weak or poor. The authority of the incarnate King supersedes all generational curses and negative designations. Affirmation of co-heir status. You must legally merge your family's lineage with the governing lineage of Jesus. This declaration means every member of your household, by adoption, is a co-executor of the King's will and an eternal administrator. Topic 12. This is a shift from wishing identity upon them to sealing their legal standing based on the King's birthright. The sealing decree, personalization. This pillar is executed through specific personalized decrees. Action. You are not asking Jesus to make your child great. You are declaring that they are great because their identity is legally sourced from the manger. Decree. By the authority of the Incarnation, I legally seal the co-heir identity upon name of family member. Their destiny is divinely sourced, and the spirit of lack and servitude is hereby annulled in their life. This is an act of covenant enforcement that sets up a legal defense for their future. Strategic outcome. This declaration ensures that your family members operate from the knowledge of their operational identity. Topic 15. Maximizing their potential and resisting the subtle lies of the enemy. This pillar confirms that the primary use of the Christmas authority is to legally secure the true high-ranking identity of every person in your generational line. Pillar 2. The legal declaration of peace and protection. The second pillar you must execute is the legal declaration of peace and protection. The core principle is the peace declared at the Nativity is the legal condition of freedom from spiritual attack, granting territorial security. Strategic deep dive, securing the family territory. The angel's message of peace on earth is a legal terminus, a declaration that spiritual warfare has been won, and the resulting peace is available for execution. The execution of the peace mandate. Peace in the kingdom context is not merely a feeling, it is a legal state of absence of chaos. You must use the authority of the Incarnation to execute the peace mandate over your house and immediate family territory. You are not begging for tranquility, you are enforcing the legal condition established by the arrival of the Prince of Peace. Invoking the invisible legal protection. This declaration invokes the invisible legal protection. Topic 16. Over your household, turning your home into a legally zoned sanctuary. The barrier. You use the declaration to place an invisible legal barrier around your family unit, preventing the enemy from finding a legal foothold. Topic 14. Through fear, anxiety, or division. The defense. Any attack on your family's unity or stability is now an illegal trespass against the authority of the Christ child. Your declaration provides the necessary legal standing for the King's angelic forces to intervene. The sealing decree, territorial. This pillar is executed through strategic declarations of boundary and defense. Action. You are actively drawing a spiritual line around your sphere of influence, using the authority of the birth. Decree. By the supreme authority of the incarnate King, I legally seal this family territory from all forms of spiritual aggression. I declare the peace of God as the sole legal condition of this household. All covenants of fear, sickness, and strife are annulled by the power of the Incarnation. Strategic outcome. This act ensures that your family operates from a position of supernatural peace. Topic 16. Providing the necessary governing foundation. Topic 12. For clear decision-making and stability year-round. This pillar confirms that the power of Christmas grants you the legal right to establish an environment of unassailable peace and protection for your loved ones. Pillar 3. The legal declaration of provision and legacy. The third pillar you must execute is the legal declaration of provision and legacy. The core principle is the Incarnation activated your eternal inheritance, legally guaranteeing the provision and spiritual capital for your descendants. Strategic deep dive, securing the generational future. The arrival of the heir means every need of the adopted family must be met from the royal treasury. Activating the eternal inheritance. Jesus was born to make us heirs of all things. Romans 8:17. The Incarnation provides the legal basis for the immediate and future release of resources, financial, intellectual, and relational. You are not begging for small amounts. You are demanding the activation of your full eternal inheritance for the current needs of your household. Sealing the generational covenant of supply. You must use this authority to seal the future financial path of your children and grandchildren. The transfer. You are transferring the title of unseen provision, topic 16, and strategic wisdom from the heavenly treasury directly onto your family's future timeline. The annulment. This action legally annuls the possibility of generational poverty or financial lack, declaring that scarcity has no legal foothold in your bloodline because the king's birth has provided an eternal surplus. The sealing decree, financial future. This pillar focuses on ensuring the family legacy is one of abundance and influence. Action. You are actively stewardship the future through spiritual declaration. Decree. By the authority of the incarnate provider, I legally seal the law of hidden provision and the doubling principle over our finances and our children's businesses. Lack is barred. I activate the eternal inheritance to secure our family's mission and influence for generations to come. The King's provision is our guaranteed legacy. Strategic outcome. This declaration aligns your family's financial destiny with the kingdom's unlimited supply. Topic 16. Ensuring that resources are available to execute your eternal assignment. Topic 15. This pillar confirms that the celebration of Jesus' birth is the legal action required to secure and guarantee the provision and lasting spiritual legacy of your family line. The authority transfer mechanism. The three legal pillars, identity, protection, and legacy, are built upon a singular mechanism, the authority transfer. The Incarnation was designed not just for celebration, but for delegation. The objective is to understand the operational transfer of legal authority from the King of Glory to you, the authorized executor. The strategic error is believing you must wait for permission. The truth is the permission was signed at the manger. Strategic deep dive, the three-step execution process. Your role as a co-heir is to move from passive beneficiary to active executor of the Incarnation deed. Deed recognition, the legal document. You must first acknowledge the Incarnation as the great deed of redemption, Part 2. This deed is your legal instrument. Without recognizing the authority inherent in the event that the king legally became man to retrieve the title, you cannot legally execute the deed's stipulations. This step is about internalizing the truth that the power to command is not derived from your piety, but from the legal status granted by the birth. This recognition is the first legal condition for the transfer of power. Authority acceptance. The co-heir status. Once the deed is recognized, you must actively accept the full scope of your co-heir status. Topic 2 that this deed provides. Acceptance is an internal legal vow to assume the responsibility of governance and protection over your assigned sphere, your family. The birth of Jesus makes the adoption of humanity legally final. You are now authorized to use his name and his authority. The transfer of power is complete, but its execution remains your responsibility. You are legally required to stop behaving as a victim and start operating as a royalty with a mandate. Mandate execution. The legal decree. The final step is to execute the mandate by issuing the legal decree over your family. The declarations from parts 3, 4, and 5. The power transferred at the Incarnation is released through your mouth. Topic 7. Your words, backed by the authority of the king's birth, become legal commands that rearrange the spiritual and physical reality of your household. Your prayer is now a Supreme Court ruling being handed down to the earthly realm. This mechanism confirms that the Incarnation is the legal battery that powers your authority. Your active execution of the deed is what converts spiritual truth into tangible, family-sealing reality. This transition from hoping to executing is the essence of kingdom strategy. The power is waiting for your verbal, authorized command. The act of covenant sealing. The authority transfer must be followed by the act of covenant sealing, the specific, tangible steps you take to convert your spiritual mandate into a physical reality protected by eternal law. The objective is to formalize your legal declaration marking your family as a protected territory under the Incarnation covenant. This step moves the 3 pillars from theory into enforceable jurisdiction. Strategic deep dive, formalizing the legal vow. Sealing the covenant involves 3 precise, strategic actions that employ principles of the kingdom. Witness invocation, the legal testimony. Every valid legal contract requires witnesses. You must formally invoke the presence of Jesus and the angelic host. Topic 14 to bear witness to your Christmas legal declaration. Action, verbally declare. Heavenly courts, I invoke the power of the Incarnation as my legal standing. Jesus Christ and the angelic host assigned to this house, I call you forth as witnesses to the eternal covenant seal I now place upon my family. Strategic outcome. This action officially registers your decree in the heavenly ledger, ensuring that the invisible legal protection, Part 4, is deployed immediately against any counterattack. Territorial positioning. The legal marker. You must use a physical object or location to serve as a visible legal marker, a reminder of the king's rule over your sphere. Action, designate a central object in your home, a Bible, a candle, or even a Christmas symbol like a nativity scene, as the legal anchor of the Incarnation declaration. Place your hand upon it and declare its new legal purpose. This object now serves as the physical seal of the Incarnation covenant in this house. This is the royal marker of Jesus' supreme legal ownership of this territory. Strategic outcome. This transforms a common object into a spiritual alarm system and a constant legal reminder to the enemy that the territory is claimed and ruled by the co-heir. Personalized declaration, the legal ownership. The final act of sealing requires placing the authority of the Incarnation directly onto the recipients. Action. Place your hand on the physical location, e.g. the bedroom door, the photograph, or the head of each family member, and read the sealing decrees, parts 3, 4, and 5 over them individually. This transfers the legal benefits of the Incarnation into their unique timeline and destiny. Strategic outcome. This ensures that the legal declaration of identity is individually applied, maximizing their potential to execute their eternal assignment. Topic 15, and fortifying their spirit against personal attacks. This process confirms that the covenant sealing is the authoritative, structured response to the grace of the Incarnation, converting passive belief into enforceable, legal reality. The legal attack on the family line. Once you execute the covenant sealing, you must anticipate the enemy's counter-strategy. The most targeted legal attack is directed at the family line itself. The objective is to understand that the family line is the primary target, because it is the structure of eternal governance. The enemy knows your individual defeat is temporary, but the corruption of your generational covenant is an eternal setback for the kingdom. Strategic deep dive. The enemy's threefold legal strategy. The enemy attacks the family not out of hatred, but out of a calculated attempt to nullify the eternal inheritance. Part 5. Attacking identity through trauma. The title dispute. The enemy seeks to impose deep-seated trauma and generational curses, fear, poverty, addiction. These emotional strongholds act as legal footholds. Topic 14. Allowing the enemy to argue in the spiritual courts that the family line is still operating under the old slave covenant. Part 3. Despite the Incarnation deed. Your defense, your legal declaration of identity. Part 3 must be the constant counter-decree, using the blood of Jesus, the final seal of the deed, to legally annul these ancestral claims. Attacking unity through division. The territorial breach. The enemy promotes strife, unforgiveness, and ideological warfare within the home. This internal chaos voids the legal condition of peace. When peace is lost, the legal barrier is lowered, creating a territorial breach that allows external spiritual forces to enter and destabilize the family's governing foundation. Topic 12. Your defense, your legal declaration of peace. Part 4 must be rigorously enforced through personal forgiveness and immediate unity. You must treat disunity as a legal violation of your covenanted territory. Attacking legacy through consumption. The inheritance theft. The enemy tempts the family with short-term gratification, debt, and greed. Mammon, driving them to consume the resource meant for the next generation. This causes them to voluntarily surrender the right to execute the provision covenant. The result is generational instability and the theft of the promised eternal inheritance. Your defense, your legal declaration of provision, Part 5, combined with the practical application of the law of hidden provision, Topic 16, is the antidote, prioritizing the legacy capital over immediate, unnecessary consumption. This section confirms that vigilance is the ongoing legal duty of the co-heir. The Christmas declaration is the spiritual artillery that you must continually fire to defend your family's legal status. Part 9. Living the Incarnation reality. The power of the legal declaration of the Incarnation must not be confined to a single month. It must be woven into the fabric of your year-round lifestyle. The objective is to sustain the legal effect of the Christmas declaration by operating daily from the co-heir mandate. Your consistency is the final legal seal on the Incarnation deed. Strategic deep dive, year-round covenant maintenance. Maintaining the legal security of your family requires converting the annual declaration into a daily operational protocol. Daily authority recitation, the legal reminder. Start every day with a concise high authority recitation of the Incarnation's meaning. Action, declare, Jesus is King, I am the co-heir. The redemption deed is signed. My family's identity, peace, and provision are legally secured by the manger. I operate today by the authority of the birth. Maintenance. This act legally reaffirms the jurisdiction of Jesus over your day, preventing the subtle daily attempts by the enemy to sow doubt or confusion. Topic 14. Covenant-based resource management. Every financial decision must be filtered through the lens of the Incarnation legacy. Action. Utilize the law of hidden provision. Topic 16. To dedicate resources toward your eternal legacy, managing wealth as the King's steward, not your own consumer. Your secret giving. Topic 16. Becomes the continuous legal act that replenishes your invisible protection. Part 4. Maintenance. This ensures that your financial life aligns with the Declaration of Provision. Part 5, making your wealth a spiritual weapon for the next generation. Peace as territorial enforcement. Treat every instance of internal anxiety or external strife as a legal alarm requiring immediate enforcement of the peace mandate. Action. When conflict arises, do not react emotionally. Immediately pause and declare the legal status of your home. The peace of the incarnate King is the law here. This situation is under covenant correction now. Maintenance. This establishes your home as a consistent governing structure. Topic 12. Ensuring that the family's decisions are always made from a position of authority, not fear. This lifestyle confirms that the power of the Incarnation is unlocked through consistent, intentional, legal maintenance of the covenant reality. Sentimental and declaration activation. You have received the legal blueprint for leveraging the greatest event in history, the birth of Jesus, to secure your family's destiny. The time for viewing Christmas as a passive holiday is over. It is a strategic legal call to action. Summary of the eternal mandate. The legal basis. The Incarnation is the great deed of redemption, validating your co-heir status. The three pillars. You must execute the legal declaration over identity, peace, protection, and provision legacy. The guarantee. The covenant seal provides invisible legal protection for your generational line against all forms of attack. Your final strategic challenge. Do not leave this session without making the Incarnation Declaration a perpetual reality in your home. I now command you to take action. Action 1. Name your family's legal status. In the comments below, declare the specific family pillar you are legally sealing today, e.g., I seal the legal declaration of peace on my family now. Action 2. Execute the supreme legal decree. Pray this guided prayer with me now, activating your Christmas authority. Jesus, incarnate King, I recognize the great deed of redemption. I fully accept my co-heir authority. I now execute the legal declaration over my family's identity, protection, and legacy. I declare that the authority of the manger governs my household, and every enemy claim is legally annulled. My family is eternal, sealed in your covenant. Amen. If this blueprint has successfully transformed your understanding of the Christmas season from emotion to eternal authority, please share this video with one family leader who needs to execute the King's mandate.